Hello indie game fans, as mentioned in my video previewing the best upcoming games of the month, developers are rushing to put their stuff out before the advent of digital E3 this year, so we have a whole bunch of awesome releases in this edition of Indie Gaming this week. Let's begin with the Japanese aerial combat title Wing of Darkness, one that has you flying through the skies to take out alien UFOs, where in typical anime fashion, only young ladies are able to pilot these mechs, and it is in this world where the story unfolds.
それじゃあ作戦に入るよ。ターゲットを目視で確認。みんなまとめて落とすよ。問題ないわ。私たちのヘルトシステムなら十分対抗できるわ。私にかかればこんなもんよ。
I love how great this looks with fun-looking action, where thankfully, it doesn't lean too heavily into the fan service with the character designs and looks pretty well put together.
落とせるの？図体が大きくなってもやることは同じよ。確実に一つずつ破壊するわよ。敵フロイラインを撃墜。
We don't get many of these types of games outside of Japanese developers, so if you enjoy this genre, it's one to get. I remember covering the Bushido Blade-like One Strike from 2017 on this YouTube channel way back when, so it's nice to see the developer continue to make games with the very creatively named Two Strikes releasing this week. It has a sweet art style, but where things are muddied a little, since you can die in 1 or 2 hits, but for an alternative fighting game experience, please pick this up. This video is brought to you by me. We're going for the elusive silver play button, so please help share this channel to get more indie game fans on board. I want to reach as many people as possible to help as many indie developers as possible, so do your part to grow this community.
Whether you choose Agent or choose Hacker,
Asymmetric multiplayer experiences are interesting structurally, even more so when it's a co-op title, so Operation Tango did get my attention. Play as either the secret agent in the field or the hacker providing backup, work together to infiltrate buildings and offices to take down a global tech company.
It takes two to stay alive.
Anyone who enjoys spy movies will certainly get a kick out of this, so do grab a friend and dive in.
Operation Tango.
I've mentioned Until We Die in my earlier video, where this pixel art side-scrolling defense game looks to be of interest. Taking place in a post-apocalypse, rally your troops, build fortifications, and defend the abandoned subway station that you now call home from a mutant threat. The action and shooting looks awesome, with a very well done industrial look, where it's about holding out and surviving, although I wonder how that affects the gameplay structure. If you enjoy colony sim titles, a no-brainer pick will be Going Medieval, where it's not only about building and establishing a fortress, complete with castle, farmlands and so on, but does involve combat and a defense portion as well. I'm impressed with the building and construction system, looking to have enough flexibility in allowing you to build in whatever direction that you please, subject of course to the laws of physics. And as with most games, I'm curious about the structure. Is this a sandbox survival title like They Are Billions, or are there scenarios and story missions so to speak, and in the case of the former, how much variation there will be? I've seen a number of YouTubers already previewing this game and they are loving it, so if you're into colony sims and base builders, definitely keep an eye on this.
This city's warped. The Esches are running wild. The Goliaths have gone underground. And something much worse is on the rise. It's damn good for business.
Bigger games of the week begins with Necromunda Hired Gun, a first-person shooter using the Warhammer 40k IP, where you play as a bounty hunter in one of the most notorious cities in the universe.
Don't take it personally, friend. There are only 3 things I trust in this life. The money, my Mastiff, and my autogun.
Plenty of cybernetic upgrades to get and fun-looking action makes it of interest, and it's a single-player campaign title, which is interesting in this day and age.
When it comes to hunting marks in the Hive City, there's only one thing you need to know. The house always wins.
The other big title of interest is Griftlands, a roguelite deck builder which has spent quite some time in early access and gone through some massive changes, releasing in 1.0, so it's the time to pick it up. The Slay the Spire style deck building system is applied here, both to combat and dialogue, where you can use your skills of persuasion or intimidation to try to get the outcome that you want. Love the hand-drawn art, as is characteristic of developer Clay Entertainment with titles like Don't Starve, but do note that while their games do seem very indie, this is by no means a small company at all, which is something that I do have to remind people of. Quite a number of interesting smaller games and ports await us this week, beginning with the action-adventure shoot-'em-up ASTRO AQUA Kitty, launching on Steam and Xbox after previously being available on the other 2 ecosystems with wonderful pixel art and looks like my kind of game. If you enjoy physicsy titles, Balloon Flight, Not Fight will be of interest, where you have the ability to spawn balloons, having to use them to glide as far as possible, looking light-hearted and fun. If you enjoy space flight sims like Eve, Valkyrie or Everspace, Blackstorm will be of interest, this time adding the Battle Royale twist to it, and for free, why not give this a look?
Form a crew of 3 pirates and fight to destroy the other ships. Your goal is to be the last ship standing. Each crew must coordinate to drive the ship, shoot the cannons, collect the loot scattered across the space, and upgrade their ship for combat. As we can see with this colossal kraken, the environment represents the idea of moving the sea into space. Jump into space, board enemy ships with your hooks, and face their crews in a hectic sword duel. In Blackstorm, choose your own strategy and adapt to win the battle.
I covered the Prologue demo for Critters for Sale a little while back, where this is a very interesting looking visual novel adventure game that uses dithering to great effect. It's creepy and unsettling, but not exactly scary per se, but certainly falls towards that horror game genre. Developer Fopti Interactive has been consistently putting out smaller arcadey titles, where Donuts'n'Justice from 2016 is a good shoot 'em up that's getting console versions this week. A platformer title of interest is Haiki, where, I quote, "Decapitation is just the beginning, as you play as a disembodied head, jumping from platform to platform while avoiding spikes, lasers, and more." Power of 10 is another space sim title, this time having you try to save as many civilians as you can before alien marauders destroy the planet, looking pretty decent and is of interest. The key selling point of Scoot, Kaboom and the Tomb of Doom, besides the name, is that the entire game is on one screen, which is not exactly a new concept since we do have the very obviously named one-screen platformer before this, but if you enjoy this genre, it's one to get.
goodness, what is this? All I see is rotten flesh. Who is there to save us now? It's the skeleton.
There is an interesting history for Skellboy Refractured, which is getting a Switch launch this week, but winding back the clock, it did actually launch on Switch in 2020 to middling reviews, then launched on Steam a while later with the reworked and rebalanced game with Refractured added to the title, and things come around full circle with it releasing once again on Switch, and will be of interest if you have not played this.
Wait a sec, that's super gross. Why not wear a dragon snare? Alright, guilty eyes to pay. Necromancer Clement, the princess couldn't follow, so he summoned all of them to get her attention. Can you feel the tension? Grab a weapon, kick some butt and say no. A giant ancient submarine emerging from the ocean. That's what there's in solid height. Sees the motion. Random generated lore. Full of loot and jewel. Conquer new environments. Fight with new amazing tools. Man, this game got really hard. Can someone help me out here? Yes, I can. I'll lend a hand. A friend can join the action. For my satisfaction. Grab two weapons, kick my butts and say no. Again. Moving on to other stuff, fresh and brand new story. The timeline has been meddled with. The small room I feel super sorry. Human kingdom's been destroyed by the undead hero. No one there to save them all. Population's less than zero. Need a hero once again in this nightmarish kingdom. One more thing we want to add. Ahora también puedo hablar español. All of this awaits in Skellboy. Dum 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 dum.
I'm not deep into grand strategy or 4X titles, but people who are really love them. But if epic multi-hour campaigns are not to your liking, Slipways may be worth a look, promising the full strategy experience in 60 minutes flat. One of the quirkiest titles from last year is SLUDGE Live, releasing for free on the Epic Games Store, but if you missed that promotion for one reason or another, this gets Steam and Switch ports this week. It's a first-person exploration game where you smoke cigarettes and vandalize public property, having a very cool look and vibe, and is certainly worth a play. Quick little trailer for the platformer title Sunblaze, a pixel art entry, which, like some of you have noted, is very Celeste-like in mechanics, so if you're craving for more platforming action, check this one out. Me being me, of course I was drawn to the pixel art of Tempus Bound, one that has an interesting use of colours, although the trailer does seem to be very zoomed in for some reason, but does look like a smaller platformer that should be neat. Speaking of awesome looking pixel art platformers, Tetracosm also got my attention due to the look, where interestingly, this is an exploration platformer that does seem rather old school in design, which is why I love it. There are unlockable abilities, boss fights and secrets, so it may be some form of Metroidvania, although the developer doesn't explicitly say it is one.
Amazing up here.
Oh, no, hold on. I'm beeping.
A cool looking adventure game is the Magnificent Trufflepigs, one that has you exploring the countryside using a metal detector, looking to have an intriguing central mystery for you to uncover.
You're not going to believe this.
The police have taken an interest in what we're doing.
Are we gonna pretend nothing's happened?
Maybe everyone was right. Maybe having you around isn't a good thing.
I do think that the trailer for TinShift is pretty well made for a first-person shooter, so here it is, being a straight-up arena shooter and not a battle royale, where players do have a rollback ability to rewind time by 10 seconds, so I wonder how that will play out. For some calm in your life, check out Tiny Lands, a Spot the Difference title with a wonderful low poly look, but the transition to 3D dioramas are a nice change, getting Switch versions this week. Pardon my pronunciation, but I covered the Prologue demo of Ultreïa a little while back, where this classic looking and playing adventure game starring a little robot was of interest, getting its full release this week. The Prologue demo of Universe for Sale will be something to check out, since I do love the art style here and has quite a cool, trippy vibe, telling a tale of relationships and self-acceptance, being meta in that sense.
Nobody deserves to be a victim of circumstance. We shape the world, not the other way around.
Please, don't change too much. We're going to be fighting for peace. That's not worth anything if I can't share it with you.
The visual novel RPG, Winds of Change also gets a Switch version this week, where relationships with characters is central to this game, and since it was inspired by titles like Mass Effect and Dragon Age, might be something of interest.
Do not concern yourself with honor. The enemy does not, and this is why they win.
They say that mercy is the mark of a great man, but there are no great men in war.
We had nobody to show him how to act. Nobody to care or love him. At least, until now.
May the triumvirate reign eternal.
Quite a week already, but I've saved the best for last, where this top 5 really is a treat, beginning with the action-adventure title Stonefly, one where you're piloting a mechanical bug mech and simply looks fantastic. It's from the developer of Creature in the Well, so of course I'm in. But I want to see what this team is capable of given a different setting, but based on how much I enjoyed their previous work, I do have very high hopes for this. Relaxing life sim titles have been my go-to since I've been stressed out, so the Animal Crossing-like Hoko life is of interest to me. You take over an old workshop, having to help the various animal villagers, looking to be wonderfully chill but will be an early access title. The opposite of chill is the run and gun title, Mighty Goose, an all-action title that does look fantastic. There's something about the pixel art in this that's worth a study, since everything just pops off the screen, but the simple but effective backdrops do show a nice amount of variety. It does feel similar to Metal Slug, and as someone who has spent way too much time and money in arcades with that series, of course this is of interest. The developers chose a Saturday to release this game, which seems strange, but less competition might mean more exposure, so wishing them all the best. The no-brainer title for tactics game fans is The Last Spell, one that combines Fire Emblem with They Are Billions, having you fend off swarms of demons as you protect your base and the mages within. It looks fantastic, once again with awesome pixel art, and with screen clearing abilities and attacks, should have a fantastic game feel as well. Early access is planned for a year, where the version at release lets you play up until the first boss fight, but based on impressions of the demo and what you folks have mentioned in the comments, it's quite the challenge and worth a play.
Try again.
The poison. It's coming from this tower.
We must save the village.
Astalon Tears of the Earth will be familiar to viewers of the channel since I've mentioned it a number of times, where the 8-bit look is well done and is retro in all the right ways. It comes to us from the developer of Castle in the Darkness, which is extremely underrated, so hell, pick both of them up this week, taking the #1 spot. To see more of the big picture, check out these awesome videos, and I will see you after the jump.